Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy. You see the plants, they're all green because it's raining every day. We're almost into winter. Climate fear, time for change. Especially this article by Zakir Hussain, who says our climate, our children and our careers are in serious trouble. You know, everybody is talking about climate change and what we can do about it. And of course, Mr. Louis Ng, an MP for Nee Soon GRC and an environmental advocate, says the calls for individuals to act. It's not about the individuals to act because there's very little we can do. The most important person who must do something about it is the government and the people running the country. And this continuous harping about plastic bags. Look, until we can find a solution to get rid of all the food waste in a more efficient way, people need to throw their rubbish down the rubbish chute and they need plastic bags for them. HDB estates are too bright. The whole of Singapore is so lit up. I think it's the only country which you can see very clearly from space, shining like a big light, you know. Turn off all the lights in HDB at 10 o'clock. When people come home late, you use a torchlight. You form a vigilante corps which helps to bring young ladies and young men back to their houses safely. This also helps with bonding, you know, and neighbors talking to each other and creating a circle of protection amongst themselves. The other thing is, cut down carbon emissions. Bicycles must be encouraged, PMDs must be encouraged, motorcycles must be encouraged. Cut down on all those expensive, powerful cars which are creating so much carbon emissions. Minister Masagos says Singapore is fully committed to climate change action. I think that again is another good statement by a good minister who will drive it. And Minister Masagos, most important, solar power. Help all of us really use solar power because there's so much sun in Singapore so that people really reduce, reuse and recycle. Stop the indiscriminate clearing of land because for some reason we cannot build without flattening hills. And also, Mr. Louis Ng, it's not about people feeding the wild animals. Why are the wild animals coming to where people can feed them? We are only treating the symptom, but not the root of the problem. Get back to basics. Look at what Minister Desmond Lee said. You cannot protect what you don't love and you can't love what you don't know. And he's going to get people to study how to do marine conservation so that kids can start from young to understand how to help us when the seas rise. Singapore refutes Oxfam report on performance in tackling inequality. You know, at the same time this report happened, World Bank ranked Singapore tops in human capital. How is it when we are ranked tops, we are so happy? When we are ranked bottom, we are so unhappy. Look, stop getting defensive. Look at what the individual reports are saying. Just like these letters in forum, you know. There is a very good letter here that says minimum wage model can fix some of the problems. I think that's a sensible suggestion and our government should really look at it instead of being so defensive. You know, when it comes to developing people, the job is never done. It takes time. Singapore is a young country, but we must listen to what the reports are saying, because we have the fastest growing old population in Singapore, many of whom don't have enough money to retire on, and also 70%, I believe, of Singaporeans earn below $2,000. So we do have a problem. Don't pretend that it doesn't happen. Look at it and do something about it. After all the countries are ranked with the same criteria, right? Whether in the report we are the first, or in the report we are 50th or 54th or whatever, we're all ranked with the same rankings and the same subjects. So why be defensive to say this report is wrong and the other report is right? Let's accept what people say and then do something about it. Whenever the Chief Justice says something, I'm always attracted to read it. He said Singapore needs to regain edge in legal tech. You know, Mr. CJ, I think there's many other areas you have to look at. For example, a taxi driver told me that we had 3 casinos: Marina Bay Sands, Resorts World, and the Subordinate Courts, before it was changed to the new name State Courts. Why? Go there and take a look. People are all queuing up, having to pay fines, etc. And they can never win, right? The state courts always win, like the casino. If we have low crime rates, then why are so many people needing to be fined? Is there something wrong with our rules that make life difficult without you having to break some rules? Why are lawyers needed to do a conveyancing for a property sale in Singapore? You know, in Australia, you only go to a settlement agent. Right, so if you remove conveyancing from the law firms in Singapore, maybe the entire legal system will collapse, because that's where they make a lot of money. So, Mr. CJ, I hope you won't get irritated with me trying to tell you what other areas you need to look at. Minister Lawrence Wong says, we have been building more rental flats with newer, better designs alongside the sold flats in various HDB towns. I don't understand what he means by building more rental flats. I thought all flats built for housing should be the same, right? So that if people rent the flat, or people want to buy the flat, or they rent a flat, and when they have enough money, they can buy that same flat without having to move. So why do we have flats specially built for rental? Do they have toilets that don't flush or what? I'm not sure. Anyway, to qualify for a rental flat under the public rental scheme, a household's total gross income must not exceed $1,500 a month. Minister, I think you all should get a life and re-look at that kind of qualification. How do people live when they earn only $1,500 a month for the entire family? We should stop giving out handouts and look at the real root of the problem, why these people are earning so little money that they cannot own a flat in Singapore when the price is quite reasonable, I believe, in HDB new estates. Nero, the Roman emperor, renowned for debauchery and extravagance, is said to have fiddled while Rome burned. Fast forward a couple of millennia and little seems to have changed. Today, it is the planet, not just one city, that is feeling the heat. I am going to be serious about the fact that I do not intend to drown in case they are wrong and it's starting to rain like 40 days and 40 nights again, right? I'm going to build an ark in front of my house on my pond so that I can save my puppies, I can save my squirrel, and I can save my warriors who work for me. And I'm reading copious papers on eco-villages. I intend to convert the whole of the Kranji countryside into an eco-village, build a nice dike around it. The floods will not affect us there. Come join me. All you have to do is subscribe so that you can look for the news that we are starting to build it. Thank you for watching Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy. Please remember to subscribe. Thank you.